Today I'm talking about the impact of the Iran-US war and its effect on gas prices, business gas prices here in the UK. You can see, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that this war's been going on for a while now. They've obviously been trying to prevent the closure of the Straits of Hormuz. Seems to be a tough situation here. Obviously, that's caused gas prices to spike since so much of the world's oil and gas comes through there. So what has been going on with business gas prices in the UK over the last little while? So here we are on Business Energy UK, and they have the gas prices for different business sizes here. So very small businesses pay with a climate change levy. They pay on average at the end of Q4 2025. So this is before all this started. We're paying 8.12 pence per kilowatt hour. Very large businesses paying a much lower rate of only 3.83 pence per kilowatt hour. The average UK business paying around 5.07 pence per kilowatt hour for gas. Now, obviously, these are the rates that we saw before the war going on. So here is the kind of overall pricing trend. Small businesses just really getting hammered with high prices here, whereas larger businesses that are a bit more sophisticated have actually seen kind of declining prices in recent times, although significantly higher than they were pre-pandemic and pre-Russian war with Ukraine. So we can see here that prices were actually coming down across the board for businesses. Actually, large businesses seeing the biggest savings. The average business in Q4 2025 was actually paying 8% less for their gas compared to Q4 2024. However, if we look at the 5-year increase, it's still massive. So 73.2% for small businesses and 127.5% for large businesses. Now, to put that into some perspective, the overall inflation over that period of time was just 28.7%. So energy prices really are soaring way above what inflation is. And as you can see here, that the best deal, so the average small business was paying 8.12 pence per kilowatt hour at the end of Q4. The best deals in the market now, because of the massive price increase recently, is 9.6 pence per kilowatt hour for small businesses, and even large businesses are still looking around the 8.1 pence per kilowatt hour for their gas prices. So just a massive spike here. So it remains to be seen if this is going to be transient or if it's going to be a long-term price spike here. And if we compare this to the energy price cap, now the energy price cap does not apply to businesses, it only applies to consumers, and they have a cap. If you're on a direct debit, you only pay 5.74 pence per kilowatt hour for your gas for the next 3 months. So that's better than certainly better than the smallest businesses, actually above what some other businesses were paying, but you can see it's much lower than what the best deals are in the market for businesses right now. We'll see if the government will provide any support to that, but again, if you look at, if we see the wholesale market prices for gas leading up to this, we actually had a really nice stable kind of run here. I think the government was pretty happy to see gas prices pretty level here. But if we look at the recent things here, look, boom, massive price spike. It is coming down a little bit, but not as much as nowhere near to where it was before all this sort of stuff happened. The one piece of good news is that if we look back at a 5-year thing, this blip is actually quite small. So the massive spikes caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine were actually a bigger deal than what this is so far proven to be, although that remains to be seen where we go. Obviously, during this period here, the government was providing various support schemes, and I'm not sure if they're going to do anything about that. Rachel Reeves says the only thing she said is that she plans for energy bill help for those who need it most. Now, in this article here, it's talking about domestic customers and not business customers, so I don't know if you think small businesses deserve it most or other people deserve it more, but you can see that this is going to be a pretty massive cost. So what can you do as a small business? You basically have 2 real options unless the government comes in, but I wouldn't be waiting for that or holding my breath for that. You either have the option to reduce your gas usage if there's any kind of efficiencies you can get, like more efficient equipment or machinery or anything that uses less gas, or just turning down kind of heating. We're obviously going into the summer, so we will be using less gas naturally. Or the other option is basically just to price compare what the best rates are in the market now. You might want to just, if you think prices, if this is a blip, you might want to lock in your rate maybe just for a year or something like that. You can go onto a variable rate, but those are usually really high. Or if you think this is going to be a longer term thing, you could lock in now while rates haven't massively spiked as much as they did before, obviously, when we look back here. So it's obviously, you can't predict where prices will go because Donald Trump himself is so unpredictable, so who really knows what's going to happen. But those are your options. I'd love to know your thoughts about where you think business gas prices are going to go in the next year or so, what the impact it's having on your business, and what you think the government should be doing about it. I'd love to read those comments in the comment section below. Thanks.